At the Rose Bowl on Sunday to lose 3-2. The conditions for this game are actually very pleasant, about 77 degrees Fahrenheit, negligible breeze, humidity not really a factor. The forecast is encouragingly constant. Setting amongst the swaying palms of California is a world away from Turin, or from Milan for that matter, but with the Italian League season a little more than 3 weeks away, it's a night when most of the stars are being sent out to play. In fact, when these teams meet for league points 9 games into the season, the two lineups will be very similar to those on duty here, currently being led out onto the playing area by match referee Tim Ford. Not forgetting the added attraction of seeing 3 US internationals in action: Pulisic of Milan, McKennie and Weah of Juventus. Players emerging behind the goal, and they will walk around the perimeter of the pitch to their positions either side of the halfway line. Now Stuart Robson alongside me is a keen student of Italian football, and I know you've been looking forward in particular to this game.
It should be a really good game. As you said, Juventus have been a great side for many years, so in the last couple they'll be looking to win Serie A this season. 1 or 2 problems. On paper it still doesn't look a particularly strong side. Milan, champions a couple of seasons ago, got to the semi-final of the Champions League, made 1 or 2 acquisitions. Looking a better team at the moment, they're looking a better state, I would say, but this should be a very competitive game.
Recent meetings have tended to go the way of Milan. They won home and away last season, 2-0 at the San Siro in October, 1-0 in Turin at the end of May, a result that secured Champions League football for the 7 times champions of that continent. Benevolent evening sunshine, a crowd that is not large but is growing in number. And the fanfare for the common man, the musical accompaniment to this Soccer Champions Tour. Timothy Weah is so far Juve's only major summer purchase. He starts as the right wing-back. Weston McKennie's future is uncertain, but he's also included striker Vlahovic, not yet fit to be involved, veteran defender Bonucci being frozen out, and he hasn't even travelled.
Well, it looks like a strong back 3 with Gatti and Danilo either side of Bremer. Locatelli will be the deepest of the midfield players, while Chiesa will support Keane in attack.
Timothy Ford is the match referee, a regular on the MLS scene, his 6th season in that competition. He was also at the helm of Milan's game against Real Madrid on Sunday at the Rose Bowl. Well, Milan completed the signing of Villarreal winger Chukwueze yesterday, but he's not yet been integrated. 3 of their new recruits do start, however: Pulisic and Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea, plus the former RZ midfielder Tijani Reinders. Olivier Giroud provides a focal point.
Yeah, a lot of the attacking threat will come from the left. Hernandez loves to get forward from his full-back position, with Leao a brilliant runner with the ball. Krunic will anchor the midfield, with Loftus-Cheek and Reinders either side of him.
Olivier Giroud at the tender age of 36 now, still as effective as ever. 3rd season having joined from Chelsea. Wojciech Szczesny, last line of defence for Juve, the one-time Arsenal goalkeeper. At the other end of the pitch, Mike Maignan, the French international. Arriving here having finished 7th in Serie A last season, which means they have the indignity of playing in the playoff round for the Europa Conference League. That's largely down to a 10-point deduction. And for that, they would have finished in third place in the league and been entering the Champions League again. Financial irregularities were taken into account. They were twice punished. Once it was overturned on appeal, but before the end of the season 10 points were docked. Well, this is the most frequently played out rivalry in the history of Italian football. Juventus and Milan have met 239 times, including the 2003 Champions League final won by Milan in Manchester on penalties. The famed black and white stripes belong to Juventus. An old rivalry being renewed 6,000 miles away from its normal setting. And for Juventus, Stuart, a first game of pre-season, their match against Barcelona having been cancelled at the weekend. So do we anticipate that Milan will be the sharper of the two?
Well, they should be. They've had that extra game. Juventus will be a bit rusty. They might just try and feel their way into the game. They need to get a good start here.
Winston McKennie feeding his American international teammate Timothy Ware.
That'll be a good battle down that side. Ware has got pace. Theo Hernandez is brilliant going forward. Not quite so good defensively.
Gatti. Watched by Locatelli. Here's Rafael Leao. One of the most exciting young talents anywhere in European football at the moment. Coveted by many of the leading clubs. They're under lock and key with Milan for the time being. Malik Thiaw. Now for Kayo Tomori. Theo Hernandez. Krunic. Pulisic. Ruben Loftus-Cheek with the disguised pass. And Pulisic trying to get in behind Danilo. Calabria. Offside, Pulisic. So that's not going to count.
With a good start for Pulisic. Have a good understanding with Loftus-Cheek. Both are at Chelsea. He's just about offside. He plays a good cross into the box. Leao finished it. I feel he needs a good start to his campaign. Pulisic. Needs to be free of injury as well. It's going to be key for how successful he'll be at Milan.
Where? He followed through. The new man, Tijani Reinders, who's a Dutch under-20 international.
It's been a feature of some of the pre-season games we've seen. Certainly haven't held back in one or two of the challenges. That was a strong challenge from the right wing back.
Loftus-Cheek. Stumbled by Cambiaso. Pulisic.
Very experienced player, Danilo. Man City man. Real Madrid as well.
Krunic. Because of those financial irregularities and the punishment for them. There's 3 places behind Milan, having won, in theory, 2 points more than Milan last season. Locatelli. Jump and a painful landing for Kayo Tomori.
I don't think you can attach any blame to Keane. He was played forward by Locatelli. Tomori jumped early. Causes him a problem. Both players were looking at the ball. It's a nasty one. So jar the back. excellent for Milan. Tomori over the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Is he a player that Chelsea should have kept hold of?
Maybe so. I think he's done really well. The one problem he might have is he's not overly comfortable on the ball when he's playing out from the back. He's certainly a very good defender. He's got pace. Although he's not the biggest defender, he's got a good spring, as you just saw there.
His vaguely hopeful ball. Nothing more than that.
Have you ever dyed your hair that colour, John?
Don't have the opportunity, Stuart.
Not anymore.
Certainly, I did have a full head of hair. They didn't make dye like that then. Theo Hernandez. Sort off the ball by McKennie, but the referee has taken exception to that.
He's such a threat going forward, Theo Hernandez. Often he almost plays as a left wing back, although he's down as a left back. Calabria will tuck in at times from this right hand side to allow Hernandez to break forward.
Rafael Leao. Take back somewhat cynically. And Tim Ford wants words. There is a reluctance amongst most referees to produce yellows too frequently in the context of a pre-season game.
You've still got to play the game properly and referee the game properly. That should be a yellow card. Cynical. Leao was breaking into open space.
Reinders, out by Gatti. This is Calabria.
You will see with Juventus, when they defend set plays like that, they drop a lot deeper than most teams do. So they can go and attack the ball rather than running back towards their own goal.
Krunic. Theo Hernandez. Being played so far in front of a fairly passive crowd.
Tomori's got a problem here. That early fall more of a problem than you first thought.
Member of the Milan medical staff on the way. Closely followed by the physio, Stefano Pioli, who was a former Juventus player back in the mists of time. Played 3 seasons as a central defender for Juve in the 1980s. If I was to ask you now, and I'm asking you now, which of these sides you expect to finish higher in Serie A this season, what would your answer be?
Looking at the sides that are out there today and the signings they've made, I would still say Milan just about the better side. He's been in the job for a little while now and he's done a brilliant job. I'm not sure Allegri is quite playing the way he wants his team to play. A disappointing return to the club.
It's going to be difficult to match the success of his first stint. He had 2 years away, came back to replace Andrea Pirlo.
came the first time. He took over from Antonio Conte, who had just won the title 3 years on the trot. And had a very, very good side. Quite the same now.
3 seasons without the title after 9 in a row.
One of the key players for him will be Chiesa, the number 7. Can play at centre forward as he's doing today, but he's probably better in wide areas. While he was Italy's most dangerous player 2 or 3 seasons.
Tomori is battling on for now. Locatelli was keen. Chiesa. Beretti. Cambiasso. Once more, Federico Chiesa. Enrico, a very fine player, an Italian international. Father like son. Neat feet from Moretti. Cambiasso.
Well, if he had his time again, I think he should be shooting there, Cambiasso. Good build-up play down this left-hand side, but that was half a chance for Cambiasso.
Danilo. Not by Tomori. Volleyed by Calabria. Flag is raised. Tomori still not moving entirely happily.
A couple of centre-halves, other centre-halves at the club. Simon Kjaer. Lulu can play at right back or centre-half.
Calabria. Good for Ware. Made something of it. McKennie. McKennie's future uncertain with Juventus. He's on the list of players that they made available to sell. It's a list that also includes the swashbuckling central defender Bonucci, who's been a fixture at Juve for seems like years and years. He had a brief spell with Milan in the midst of it all.
Actually, when he fell out with Max Allegri, couldn't work together. He went to Milan, didn't play particularly well for Milan. Next season he went back to Juventus. Guess who's come back in charge? Max Allegri.
Looks like the end of the road for the last remaining member of that wonderful defensive triumvirate for Juve in Italy. Barzali, Chiellini and Bonucci. I said that Bonucci is keen to play at the Euros next year, so he'll presumably try and find another club rather than seeing out his contract.
Pulisic has just moved over to that left-hand side. Leao's come to the right.
How do Milan potentially deploy their wide forces? Because they've got Rafa Leao, he's going to play. Pulisic, they've paid a lot of money for. They've also invested heavily in Samuel Chukwueze as another winger from Villarreal. So 3 into 2 doesn't go.
Well, Leao, whenever I've seen him play, has always played on the left-hand side. That's his favoured position. Running with the ball, coming in on his right foot and getting shots away, playing little 1-2s. Hold on here.
Keane. He's going to brandish yellow for the first time here. Tiao.
Keane just headed it past him. Tiao was already going to make the challenge. Keane heads it on. And he puts his arms up, I think, more to protect himself, but it looks bad when you see it there. Going back to your point, it could be a battle between Pulisic and Chukwueze, who plays on the right-hand side. This is another player who comes into the number.
It's Keane. Where? On its way by Malik Tiao.
International.
Stayed down. There's a follow-up foul by Locatelli. And Loftus-Cheek.
Just under a bit of pressure now. There's been one or two poor challenges. The referee. Brandished one yellow card.
Italy's Serie A starts a week later than most of the top European competitions, so they're still 3 and a little bit weeks away from opening fixtures. Juventus begin at Udinese, 3 weeks on Saturday, and Milan have a couple of extra days of preparation. They begin on the Monday night of the opening weekend. Bologna.
Really good play from Magnon, the goalkeeper. There was a little crossover between Giroud and Leao. He almost got him in.
McKenna.
It's a very good moment at Juventus, McKennie, particularly in his first couple of seasons. One performance that stood out was against Barcelona in the Champions League, away from Juventus.
Pulisic. Brunic. Hernandez. Leao. Tiao. Locatelli tries to get Juve moving. Federico Gatti. Chiesa. That's Calabria. Best effort of this game so far.
Great switch of play from Gatti. Calabria's got a problem. Chiesa running at him, chops it in onto his right foot. Wasn't there where he had the injury. He did it a little bit earlier on when he played a pass forward. Calabria straight away held his groin. Shake of the head as well.
A casualty for Milan then. Davide Calabria.
Here it is again. Chops it onto his right foot. Trying to bend it into the far corner. Starts it a little bit too close to the goalkeeper, Magnon. That's probably going to be the end of Calabria. He's taken the armband off.
Folders and spreadsheets are being consulted down on the Milan bench as a replacement is selected.
Florenzi would be the obvious choice.
Come on and play at right back. He was forced into playing at left back against Real Madrid at the Rose Bowl at the weekend. Very experienced replacement, 32 years of age now, 49 caps for Italy. So it is indeed Alessandro Florenzi in place of the injured Davide Calabria. And they've turned this into a hydration break. In the strictest sense, were this a competitive game, it wouldn't really be hot enough or humid enough, but we saw in the game at the nearby SoFi Stadium last night between Barcelona and Arsenal that the opportunity for a drink, almost a time-out style stoppage, seized by both coaches. The Soccer Champions Tour continues over the next few days, and one of the highlights of this season's programme, Real Madrid up against Barcelona. El Clasico on American soil, Saturday 4:30 Eastern, live from the home of the Cowboys in Arlington, Texas.
Minutes. I'm not sure that Giroud has had too many touches of the ball so far. Centre forward for Milan.
Loftus-Cheek. Pulisic.
It's a great run from Reinders. Pulisic wanted to go down the outside and Reinders just ran into the space he was going to use. That's why he came in field.
Thiaw. Milan side who finished last season strongly in terms of their league play, one defeat in their last 11. Suffered the defeat of a semi-final exit to their most local of rivals, Inter, in the Champions League.
Couple of fouls now from that man there, Locatelli. Grabbing hold of Reinders as he was running away from him. The first touch for Giroud, a particularly good one. It bounced up in the air off his left boot. Again, see how deep Juventus are defending here.
Hernandez. He was perfectly placed. Malik Thiaw guiding it well out of the reach of Wojciech Szczesny. And the 7 times champions of Europe have their noses in front.
And all the coaches that like to have their team defending higher up the field will say that's why you don't defend deeply. Ball's played into a good area, they don't win the first ball. Excellent leap from Thiaw, and there's nothing really that Szczesny can do about it. If you are going to defend that deep, you've got to go and attack the ball. Juventus don't. Excellent header.
Well, it won't go down in the history books as a goal in a competitive game, but it is the first time that he has scored in a fixture wearing the colours of Milan. He was signed from Schalke, €7 million at the start of last season. Moves well, met it sweetly. Milan in the lead, but here's Keane. To Weah. McKennie. Locatelli. It's Florenzi. Great by Danilo.
Keane is just having a go at where he wanted the ball played in first time and it was played out wide to him. Here's the goal again. He pretends to play it. And then there's Theo Hernandez with a good ball into the box. He's probably about 8 yards out. Thiaw attacks the ball. Defenders are standing still. He doesn't get a jump in. Very good header.
Albeit in a friendly setting. They're at least looking to extend their recent dominant run. This is only one of the last 9 meetings. Miretti. Invitation for Ware, who is quick, as we know, very quick. It's Chiesa! And it should have been 1-1.
Well, that's all about, as you mentioned, the pace of Ware on that right-hand side. It's a good ball played forward by Miretti. Tomori tries to get across there, can't do so. Gets beaten for pace, and it's a good cross. And there's 3 versus 2 in the box. Just can't get it on target. It's a good effort from Chiesa. Tries to go with the inside of his left boot rather than his laces. Always bending wide.
Milan a goal to the good. They led Real Madrid 2-0 at the weekend at the Rose Bowl and still lost. The true Spanish giants. They face the others, Barcelona, next week in Las Vegas. Here's Leao. Difficult man to stop, and the ball was presented back to him at one stage. Locatelli. Chiesa. Mr. McKennie just had to be on his heels to avoid being offside.
And there you saw Leao's pace. Well to track him back. Chiesa, the ability to go past people with the ball. Just starting to open up the game.
McKennie. To return it to Chiesa. In the last 3 seasons, 9 Juventus titles in a row, the Serie A crown has gone to Inter, then to Milan, and most recently to Napoli. Naples winning it by a country mile last year. Captivating brand of football. Pulisic.
Frustration for Napoli was in the semi-final, or sort of the quarter-final of the Champions League. And beat Napoli over the 2 legs.
Leao. Krunic. Reinders.
Players could be at fault there. It's a terrible pass from Szczesny, but Danilo just took a step the wrong way as the ball was played.
Allegri. Third season of his second spell coming up. To win a trophy since his return. He's the first Juventus manager to go through his first 2 seasons of a spell in charge without winning silverware in 4 decades.
It's fair to say Juventus not in a financial plight. They lost his job a little bit earlier on. Thought to sack him was quotes that were coming out.
There's been in the approaching turmoil with the chairman Andrea Agnelli and the board all resigning in November. Agnelli currently banned for 16 months for making irregular payments to players.
By his side was always Pavel Nedved, no longer with the club.
In fact, significant figures have left both these outfits because Paolo Maldini was somewhat surprisingly sacked as technical director of Milan just after the end of last season. His cheek bowled over, referee playing advantage with Christian Pulisic. And eventually ran into too much traffic.
Well, Bremer's a lucky boy. He committed 2 fouls when Pulisic was running with the ball. There he is again. There's the first challenge by Bremer, which was a foul. This one was also a foul. He tries to stop him. Reminders on Miretti.
Strong play by Miretti now. Freeing Chiesa. Federico Chiesa. And the stretching Tomori scrambles it away.
There's the threat of Chiesa. Again, he's pulled out slightly wide. I think that's when he's at his best, not when he's playing through the middle. Krunic was beaten in midfield far too easily. Thiaw dives in here, gets beaten. Tomori read the cutback brilliantly.
This will be Chiesa. On by McKennie. And scrambled off the line first of all by Krunic. Returned with interest. Juventus have a very scrappy equaliser. And it is the former Manchester City stalwart defender Danilo.
And here's the ball into the box. Great flick by McKennie. They should score at the far post. Eventually, there he is. It comes back to him. Danilo in the right place at the right time. With his right boot. It's a real scramble. Should score there. Great save. And the initial one, Magnon. But they can't keep out the second and third.
Animated now. Active on the touchline.
I think after a fairly tame first 20 minutes, the game has really come alive. We started with that goal by Milan.
Krunic. Discretion by Leao.
Be a top-class player. Chiesa, I've seen that on a couple of occasions, so can that man there, Leao.
Weston McKennie. Tomori.
wherever he goes, Weston McKennie's got to show that sort of dynamism. That's his strength. Good athlete, great energy, get forward.
Do you feel you saw that at Leeds?
Not so much. Leeds were going through a bad period as well, has to be said. When he first came to Juventus, I saw a lot of good forward runs from him. Good in the box more often than not. Very good tactically. The team had to rotate around Ronaldo at that point. A very difficult role, McKennie, but he played it quite well when he played. It was between him and Aaron Ramsey quite often.
Do you feel there still can be a future for him at Juventus?
It's going to be difficult for him. There's talk of maybe Kessie, who we saw in the second half of Barcelona against Arsenal last night, coming into the club. He's a similar sort of player.
And of course Pogba's still to come back from injury. Very nearly. Really incisive ball for Giroud.
Maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Giroud would have got onto this. Just gave up on it. It was an excellent pass from Leao. Become very much a box player, Giroud. Gets on the end of crosses. Good finisher.
Consecutive night of football at Dignity Health Sports Park. Played League's Cup game between the Galaxy and Club Leon took place here last night. Cambiaso. Danilo. Gatti. Not what he intended, but it fell first for Ware and then back to him. Locatelli. And off goes Rafael Leao. He caught the eye at the World Cup. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Pulisic. Hernandez. Ahead of Locatelli, and that's behind for a corner.
Just a fraction more on the cross, and that's where Giroud would have been getting on the end of it. That's the sort of ball that he loves. Still got a slight problem here, Chiesa.
Talk about the threat of Giroud as we see this incident once again.
It's not a foul by Pulisic. He's just trying to hold off the challenge of Chiesa.
These sides last met Serie A penultimate week of the season. The end of May was settled in Milan's favour, that game by a classic centre-forwards header from Olivier Giroud. That's Pulisic. It's Thiaw and Giroud. They look for a flag. There is no flag, and Milan have their lead back.
Well, they're all claiming offside here. It's going to be interesting to see, because I think they came out after the header was made. Watch again. Let's have a look. No, he's not offside. He's not offside because the player at the bottom of your picture was keeping him onside. Doesn't matter what was going on in the box. It's the player that was closest to the corner for Juventus was keeping him onside. And it's a very nice finish. No chance for the goalkeeper, Szczesny. They can moan all they like, Juventus. It was onside.
Well, the Juventus players are pointing at one of the big screens behind the goal, which has shown various replays, not necessarily from the most useful or telling
there it is.
Angles.
There it is. You can see the player at the bottom of your picture who puts his hand up in the air, the one on the edge of the penalty box. He was playing Giroud onside.
It is, without question, the correct decision. Whatever the protestations from Juventus,
This is where you'd love to see VAR, wouldn't you? Just to say, all the Juventus players, you're wrong. Max Allegri, you're wrong.
This being pre-season, no VAR tonight. Giroud. Loftus-Cheek. We're appealing for hands now against McKennie. Chiesa. Danilo. Loftus-Cheek.
It's never really fulfilled his potential, I don't think, in England. Loftus-Cheek. As a youngster, everybody was talking about him being one of the stars of English football. He stayed at Chelsea way too long, really.
19 years in total.
Sent on loan on a couple of occasions. Did quite well. Went back to Chelsea, couldn't get in the side. On a regular basis, anyway. Fulfill your potential, you have to play on a regular basis.
Should give a shout out to the assistant referee on this near side, Jeremy Kiso, for getting that offside call right, as he should. So in the face of all those questions, fairly aggressive attitude from some of those in black and white. Stood his ground, made the correct call. Reinders. Verona with a head start. Cambiasso. Locatelli. Hernandez. Gatti involving himself. Here's Ware. Gatti again. Corner that's been given. Milan protesting.
But interception by Gatti. He continued his run. One or two players in the box wanted a cross coming in. He decided to shoot from quite a tight angle. Oh, he's rising over the bar. Quite see where the ball came off Tomori.
Nor could Milan. That's their point. Here it will be as we enter the final minute of the first 45.
Has he changed his mind here? He has. Somebody's told him that there probably wasn't any contact.
Two bemused looks. The Undertaker have been dispatched and have got as far as the quadrant, ready to take it. So Stuart, sum up this first half.
I think it's been a fairly tame first 20 minutes. Both sides just feeling their way into the game. We've seen some good little bits of play from Chiesa. Seen some good play from Leao. Pulisic had one or two decent runs. It's been fairly even. just needs a little bit more intensity, I would say. What has been key is that Juventus haven't defended set plays particularly well. Both goals for Milan coming from set plays.
Earnest discussion. Telly and Giroud.
Locatelli trying to defend off the front, Raymer from the back. Just a bit too aggressive from that man there, Locatelli.
Rafael Leao. For a Juventus team who were level as much as 6 minutes after going behind for a second time through Giroud. Scoring Thiaw with an early header. Danilo with the equaliser, Giroud with the go-ahead goal for Milan.
All goals coming from set play so far. Facet of the game.
This is a corner and it will stick as a corner this time. We're going to be the final act of the first half as Chiesa jogs across.
He's had one or two good moments, hasn't he? Well, down that far side, the right wing back.
Chiesa by Giroud. Leao. And that is half-time at Dignity Health Sports Park. First half that grew in intensity and competitiveness sees Milan go in with a 2-1 half-time advantage. Decisive goal to this point, scored by Olivier Giroud. Thiaw having put Milan in front in the 24th minute, Danilo levelling in the 33rd for Juve. Two sides between which there wasn't a great deal to choose in Serie A last season in terms of overall points tallies, but usually recent meetings have gone Milan's way, as this one is doing at the moment. Half-time in Carson, 2-1 to Milan.
We'll be going back to the second half in a moment, but I'm joined by a couple of people who are perfect for this topic of conversation. Former US international Casey Keller's here. Seb's got an opinion on everything, as Christian Pulisic, of course, has made that move away from Chelsea after a frustrating few seasons at Stamford Bridge to Milan. Is this the right move, Casey, do you think, for him?
I really like the move. I think if there is one question mark in this move, it's Christian has probably been the most successful on the left side, coming in on his right foot.
Yep. And it's where Milan are the strongest,
and it's
with Leao.
It's where Leao has absolutely established himself. Now, I think some of the question mark was they signed him, they thought, oh, are Milan going to cash out on Leao? That doesn't look like the case as of right now. So then where does everybody fit into this puzzle? And in the preseason game against Real Madrid, we didn't get to see an opportunity of the two of them on the pitch at the same time and potentially how that would look. So that's my only question mark. I really like the move. I have a ton of respect for Christian as a person and a player. I think he has the ability to really find the right place and succeed. That's my only little question mark.
So if you've written down set pieces when that was me. And what did you write down here as well? What's this?
That's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I was thinking of all the players that have been added in kind of Christian Pulisic's positions. There's going to be competition. I love the move basically because of how AC Milan plays. We've talked about it before. There's 3 spots that he can slide into. They play a very, very aggressive press, which leads to a lot of turnovers. That's where Christian Pulisic is by far the most dangerous. What I'm interested in to get out of you, Casey, is what you think will be success. Because you say success, but then, like, what does that mean? His previous career high in goals was 9, first year at Chelsea. You think he'll do better than that?
I think he very well could do better than that.
9 goals, 4 assists in the league his first year.
First and foremost, what I want to see from Christian is I want to see win a position, keep it, stay fit, and be a person that your club can count on. I know he's going to be fit for Saturday, and I know he's going to perform. That, for me, is a success. Now, what numbers dictate depends on how good your club is, how you're doing, how many matches you played, what your support cast is like.
But, I mean, it can't be 1 goal and 1 assist like last year at Chelsea. Like, he has to be more productive.
If he's playing week in and week out, he will do much better than that. Yes.
What's the success for you?
10 goals or more.
No, I mean in life.
Oh.
Thank you very much,
Seb.
much
segment.
much
Get me
appreciated.
done for the day.
Thank you to Casey, to Seb. Just a reminder, ESPN FC is with you throughout the week as we discuss all of those big talking points from the world of football. Be sure to join us.
A coming together of the 2 most decorated clubs in the history of Italian football at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. And the first half has largely gone Milan's way. They were in front in the 24th minute.
Yeah, good delivery. Teo Hernandez, Juventus defending deeply. Thiaw, the centre-back, has a good run at it. Gets good power. There's nothing really that Szczesny can do. It's a good delivery from Teo Hernandez, as you'd expect with his left foot. Thiaw gets there first. There's a good run from here. As you can see, he's on the edge of the box. The Juventus centre-halves don't come and attack it as they should do. It's a good goal. And this is the Juve equaliser. McKennie won it at the near post. Juventus had a couple of goes at it. It's a good save first time by Magnot there. And when it comes to Danilo with his right boot, he strikes it past the players on the line. Then another set play. Thiaw, I think, winning the ball in the air. Giroud with the volley. Everybody claiming offside. But it's this player nearest to us who is keeping everybody onside, Miretti. The referee and the assistant got it absolutely right.
Protests in vain and indeed plain wrong. Giroud, the 36-year-old, at the sharp end of the Milan attack. Turning, swivelling and scoring. The underlying statistics, surprisingly more efforts on goal officially for Juventus by a ratio of 3-1.
Hazer had that one that hit the post, which was a good effort after a really good play by Weah down the far side. It's been a fairly even game. Going to defend better at set plays, both teams.
Half-time score at Dignity Health Sports Park. Juventus 1, Milan 2. enthusiasm to see Christian Pulisic in action on home turf this evening. How did you assess his first half display, Stuart?
He didn't get involved that much in the first half, but when he did some decent things. You see, he wanted to run with the ball. One or two players I thought made the wrong runs for him. Got into his space as he was trying to take on the defender. But certainly looks as though he's bedding in quite nicely at Milan.
So it does look to be same again for Milan. We're just waiting for a couple of their players who are chatting to Paul Pogba by the touchline at the moment.
The two Frenchmen,
yeah.
Giroud and Theo Hernandez.
It's all right, we can wait. Having kept everyone else waiting, they're now ready to resume, and so we can get back underway. Milan in the white shirts, leading by 2-1 with the same 11 that finished the first half. They were forced into an early change through an injury to their right back Calabria. Florenzi coming on instead. Down his header. He's one of those to arrive. McKennie, Gatti, Alexandro,
Rugani, been at the club quite some while. He's been out on loan a couple of times. He's playing at the centre-half position. Alexandro's gone to the left-sided centre-half. There's in that back three. Gatti staying where he is. Locatelli stay out there as the holding midfield player. Kostic is filling in, as he so often does, as the left wing-back. Such a good deliverer of crosses with his left foot.
Moise Keane will get a free kick.
He's led the line for Juventus. Moise Keane. Just like Juventus, Milan are going to defend very deeply here.
Goes taken short and too quickly for the referee Tim Ford's liking. It's fired in, deflected en route. Rugani is going to take the plaudits. And it's taken barely 2 minutes of the second half for Juventus to level for a second time.
And once again, Milan don't defend it particularly well. Giroud is in that near post space. He's got to attack the ball. Rugani just runs across the front of him. They didn't come off Giroud. Let's have a look from this angle. It may well come off the Frenchman. Rugani probably got a slight touch. And Giroud gets the last touch.
So Rugani will lay claim to it, even if the last physical touch was off Olivier Giroud. What is for certain is that it's 2-2, and off goes Loftus-Cheek for Milan. Pulisic. Locatelli. Now Kostic.
Chiesa is furious. The ball wasn't played over the top. He'd made a great run in behind Florenzi. Kostic couldn't get his pass away.
Where? Keane. And Keane's deflected shot defended awkwardly, only out as far as McKennie. Kostic. Locatelli.
We saw the pace and the quality of Ware again. Really good run, that time infield from his right wing-back position.
Chiesa. A business-like approach from Juventus since the break. Ware. McKennie. Seems to be more urgency.
Good attacking play, started by Chiesa. Ware again playing the ball forward for that dynamic run from McKennie.
Gatti. Chiesa. Well, both players stopped expecting a whistle from the referee and it didn't come.
So then Alexandro decided to pile into the next challenge. Here's the goal again. Again, they're defending just outside their 6-yard box. It's whipped in with pace. Rugani gets the first touch. And it comes off Giroud's head, but it should be Rugani's goal with that slight touch that he got.
Nice introduction to the game for the 7 times capped central defender who celebrates his 29th birthday tomorrow. Chiesa. Kostic. Alexandro. Manuel Locatelli. Ware. McKennie. On the outside of Reinders.
Just couldn't quite keep the ball away from Reinders. Once he'd gone past him, he needed just to get it on his right foot. So Reinders couldn't make a challenge. There are the substitutions. Rugani, as we said, playing as the middle centre-half. Alexandro, the left centre-half. Kostic, the left wing-back. Ning Jr., who's playing in a central midfield role.
Milan choosing not to make any half-time changes. They have a whole group of potential replacements warming up in the left-hand corner. Loftus-Cheek. Reinders. It's one for Keane to pursue. Rafael Leao. Hoisted for Giroud, and the goalkeeper sufficiently protected. Those are the players that are eligible to come on for Milan. I should just point out that as well as that caption that we showed you, there has been a change in goal for Juventus with Pinsoglio on the field. Second yellow of the night, brandished by referee Ford.
Visick, the player that was brought down, again another good run from him. Change of direction. Takes it away on Locatelli. He's been on the edge of a yellow card right from the start of the game, Locatelli, I think it's fair to say.
Three candidates: Giroud, Hernandez, Florenzi. With a whole group of Milan substitutes ready to come on.
Couple of left-footed players here. Giroud, Theo Hernandez. Florenzi is good with his right boot.
To Giroud. And it went awkward for Pinsoglio.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was the most comfortable of saves. Just bouncing in front of him. Almost got underneath this one, the goalkeeper.
So the new Dutch recruit, Tijani Reinders, is going to take this. Leao, Pulisic, followed up there by Alexandro. Reinders, Giroud. Well, they tried to replicate his famous scorpion kick. Perhaps the most vividly remembered goal of his entire career for Arsenal.
The only difference was it came from the other side when he scored that goal. You can see exactly what he's doing. He's almost run beyond the ball and then tries to flick it in behind him. Good cross from Reinders.
And that's the cue for multiple substitutions by Milan. These changes are wholesale. Florenzi has stayed on, but that apart, it's pretty much all changed. Here's Ware. Keane. There's Keane hoisting it for Kostic. And Keane coming in again.
We know he's got a good left foot. Kostic doesn't quite make the right contact here. Good play from Keane. He's past his man fairly easily. A good deep cross.
As one of the new arrivals making the challenge on the far side.
He's one of the more experienced players that have come on for Milan.
And now a bunch of the younger brethren from Juventus. 6 of them coming on. Tim Ware amongst those coming off, so too Weston McKennie. Central defender Gatti, central midfielder Locatelli. Chiesa too also being withdrawn. And these players from the younger age of the spectrum, many of them part of Juventus's next-gen team.
Is Milik, who's come onto the field. Very experienced Polish international.
Clear indication of the priorities of the two head coaches. He's very much in the preparation category this game. 3 weeks to go until the start of Serie A.
Both teams be quite pleased with that first 60 minutes or so. It's been a good workout. Started slowly, but got better and better. One thing that both sides won't be happy with is their defending at set plays. Bit of work needed on that by Pioli and Allegri.
Illing Jr. It's Florenzi. Coni de Winter. Hoyton.
Lucy, the midfield player that was knocked off the ball there.
Another Juventus free kick. Lucy, the player, fouled.
A player that needs to have a decent season. Really imposed himself on the Milan side last year. Villara.
Milik positioning himself in the centre, but Batasaghi, the Milan defender, cuts it out. Kostic. Milik. Drive over the bar by Nicolucci.
Been involved since he's been on, Nicolucci. The player that laid in the ball, tries with his right foot, trying to wrap his foot round it. He's going over the crossbar.
As things stand, this game is heading for penalties. Plenty of time left to avoid that. If it's level, it will be decided from the spot. And there is the full list of the latest batch of Juventus substitutes. Pinsolio actually came on at half-time, the goalkeeper. The other 6 have just been introduced. Alexandro. Would not be surprising, Stuart, if the game rather lost its pattern now with all these fresh players on the field.
Absolutely, it's always difficult. A lot of young players out there as well. Next in with one or two experienced players who are still trying to prove themselves. Florenzi's now moved to left back for Milan.
There's too much on it for Romero. Argentine under 20 international. Just signed from Lazio.
He's one of the more promising young players for Milan. Played a couple of games for Lazio.
Sule, another Argentine. Huysen. Rugani.
In his early career, held the record for a centre-back who had never been booked. Quite some number of games.
Be regarded as a badge of dishonour, wouldn't it, in Italian football? Centre-back who doesn't receive yellow cards.
There was certainly always a question mark against that. Some would say he was very composed. Others would say he wasn't quite fierce enough.
Country that has produced some of the very finest central defenders across the decades. Generally the sort to act first and ask questions later. In fact, the Milan manager, Stefano Pioli, understudied one of the very best of them when he played for Juventus, Gaetano Scirea. Pioli was part of the squad that won the European Cup back in the mid-80s. Alexandro. Kostic. Florenzi.
Kostic has got a target man in the box. Milik was overhit. He was at Eintracht Frankfurt. He was one of the best crossers of the ball in European football. A mixed season last year for Juventus.
Rugani.
Spotting a guy by the looks of it. Rugani.
We talked about a badge of dishonour, that's a badge of honour for an Italian centre-back. Salamakers, Belgian international who they signed from Anderlecht. And Yassine Adli.
Well, it's believed has no future at the club from reports. And as the holding midfield player. A lot of passing at the moment, no real penetration from either side. The centre forward at the moment for Milan, trying to run in behind the defenders at times.
Romero, and then Adley held back. And that will be another hydration break by the looks of it, even though some of the players seem rather reluctant to take it. As if the referee was saying, well, that's what I've been told. So where do we stand in this contest? 2 apiece is the obvious answer to that, but in terms of the balance of the play, can you even assess with so many new players out there?
Well, I don't think you can assess it now. You have to assess the first 60 minutes. And it was a fairly even game. I think both coaches would be disappointed with 1 or 2 things. There was 1 or 2 good performances. There were some patterns of play that you saw from Milan. Juventus, without their main centre-forward at the moment, Vlahovic, is keen to have to play that role if he's not fit enough for the start of the season. There's still talk of Vlahovic maybe going somewhere else. Chiesa, I thought, was excellent while he was on the pitch. This is all about 1 or 2 youngsters trying to make their way and impress the manager. And 1 or 2 of the older players who are maybe coming towards the end of their career, making sure that they get a chance at some point. Talking about the likes of Alexandro, who was a key player for Allegri the first time round.
Well, nearest the camera there, Yildiz, Kenan Yildiz is perhaps one to keep an eye out for, an attacking midfielder signed by Juventus, who spent 10 years in the Bayern Academy, and Juventus are very pleased with themselves for managing to filch him away from there, and there is talk in Italy that he may get a chance in the first team at some point this coming season.
Still a very young player.
The summer soccer action comes thick and fast, and one of the attractions this weekend, Manchester United against Borussia Dortmund, which is being played on Sunday in Las Vegas. Manchester United against Dortmund.
Sagi is the left-sided centre-back for Milan. He's 17 years old. Can play as a left-back as well.
Salamakers.
The interesting role. Salamakers so often a wide right player or a wide left player. He's playing as a marauding right back at the moment. I'm not sure he's going to be overly pleased with that.
Chaka Traore. Salamakers. Romero. Keita Lara. Adley.
Vega, the player that just tried to nudge it round the corner. The centre forward, Colombo.
Given up by Soule. Milan's ball. Next for Milan, Barcelona in Las Vegas on Tuesday, and the same night Juventus face Real Madrid in Orlando. Juventus in the US for the 2nd year running. Last year they played Chivas in Vegas, Barcelona in Dallas, and Real Madrid at the Rose Bowl.
think it's fair to say when you see the age group that have come onto the field, just hold off here.
Possibilities for Milan. And Pinsoglio just about covering his upright, but not a great deal more.
Babega, the player that has got himself into a good area here. If they avoided the first challenge, hits it nicely with his left foot. And Soli was going to be nowhere near that had it been on target. Babega, a player that played in the first team quite a bit last year. He's not one of the real youngsters. Milik, who was the replacement at Napoli for Higuain, who obviously played at this ground for other sides. To Miami. Quite worked out for Milik at Napoli.
Traore gifted the ball. Colombo back to Romero, who stabbed it goalwards, and Pinsoglio's called into serious action.
Well, I'll have to see this again. It could be a very good save. It's a nice effort from the youngster. He won the ball back in a good area. There's a block there from Regani. On the outside of his left foot, that's a good effort and a good save as well. Regani certainly doesn't handball it there. Colombo sets up. Probably just about going wide, but he still has to make the save.
Ghani's header clear. Joseph Nonge. Here's Kostic. And Sportiello, the goalkeeper, having come and stopped, eventually got that.
Well, the player that looked as though he was going to get there first just stopped his run, Kostic.
Milik. Huysen.
Yeah, worth an effort. Huysen seeing the opportunity to come forward on to his right foot. Space in front of him, a couple of good touches. Strikes it quite nicely. He's rising though. He's playing as the right-sided centre half.
Again, slack defending, possibilities for Juventus. Billing Jr. finding Arkadiusz Milik. And a push by the Dutch defender Huysen. Florenzi. Chaka Traore.
He just needed to get it to one side and whip across in there. Chaka Traore. Took too long and didn't quite have the ability to go past his man.
Nicolosi. Soulé. Clearly a foul by Yassine Adli. And another one by Lorenzo Colombo.
about to say, when you look at the squads that Milan and Juventus have got and the players they've brought on, compared with what we saw from Arsenal and Barcelona when they put their subs on, still some top-class players. See the lack of depth in these two squads. This time defending it slightly higher up the field, just somewhere between the penalty spot and the penalty area.
In by Nicolucci and touched behind for a corner.
Milik the target. They come round the back. Nicolucci with a good delivery. There it is, whipped into a good area. Milik coming round the back. Good defending by Salamakers, not known for his heading quality.
Sule. Traore.
Feeling a little bit too aggressive with the challenge.
Florenzi. And he let the league crown slip from their heads last season, proposed by Napoli.
He's a player that in a few games last year in junior. Some big games as well.
There's another Milan substitute about to be added to the mix. 18-year-old midfielder Kevin Zeroli. If it stays like this for another 7.5 minutes, plus stoppage time, we'll be having penalty kicks.
Here comes that substitution you were talking about.
And Zeroli is replacing Florenzi. Zeroli is actually a lifelong fan of Milan. Very thrilled to score against third division Lumezzane in a friendly last midweek.
Who came on very early on in the game. A lot of changes in position as well here. Vega has come to a left back, an inverted left back at times, by the looks of it.
The referee wants the ball back a bit. Are now well aware of what's at stake in the next 6 minutes. Sagi. Simic.
Be some young players out there, but Pioli is really demanding that they go and close the ball down, try and make things happen. You see him pushing Traore on, and put pressure on the ball.
Well, 239 competitive meetings between these sides, and this is the 59th other match in inverted commas. In the regular competitions, it's yet to be decided. But Milan have a free kick in a position of promise.
One or two players taking a look at this. Romero is there, Adli came up very quickly. Lada is also in and around the ball. The one that picked it up seemed to want it. It's Adli that's put it down. Usually suggests he might be the taker. And he moves it again. I imagine he will be taking this. Right footer. There's three men in a wall in front of the Juventus wall by Milan.
Alexandra, a very reluctant participant behind the wall. Adli it is!
Well, I'm interested to see where that goes, because it looked as though it might have gone under the wall, it might have just gone down the side. It goes down the side. It's a comfortable save. He saw it coming all the way. Soli.
Nicolucci breaking free. Alexandra. Illing Jr. Bearing down on Salamakers.
Referee absolutely right to dismiss the shout for a penalty. Maybe from the crowd. Trying to play a little 1-2 around Pobega, who commits the foul.
Alexandro. Colombo. Ziroli. Kept alive by Chaka Traore. Salamakers. Colombo.
Looked as though Colombo should have got that under control as the ball was played into the box. And there's Salamakers. Good break for Milan.
Colombo's challenge. Very calmly done by Howson. Sule. Milik.
It's just not happened for Milik since he's been on the pitch.
And there will be no additional time, so we are straight to penalties. 2-2 at the end of 90 minutes, of which really only the first 60 is worth analysis.
Absolutely, once they make all those changes, and they're young players that probably won't feature too much in the first team. First 60 minutes, saw some decent attacking play, saw some decent set plays as well. Not good defending by both teams when balls came in the box. One or two good performances, and it's been a good run out for both teams in that first 60 minutes.
There are going to be a fair number of fairly youthful penalty takers coming up. That's the way of it in normal time. Two occasions, Milan in front through Thiau's early header, and Giroud from close range just before half-time. First Juventus equaliser from Danilo, the second from Daniele Rugani, who'd just come on as a half-time substitute, flicking on a delivery that hit Giroud and went in. It was on target, so Rugani claims the goal. Pinsolio is going to find himself in the unusual position of being in the spotlight in this penalty shootout. Joined Juventus at the age of 10. He's only ever made 5 Serie A appearances for them, and he's now 33.
A bit of pressure on some of these young players if they come and take the penalties. There's still enough experience on the field for both sides. For players that have that bit of experience, maybe of these sort of situations. Alexandro could be one of them. What an excellent servant he has been for Juventus.
9 seasons now.
He originally came in as a left wing back, marauding left wing back. Got great crosses into the box. Slowly gone further back and played as a left-sided centre half in a back three.
So the two goalkeepers here are going to be Marco Sportiello, who's only just arrived at Milan on a free transfer after a decade at Atalanta. And in the Juve goal, Carlo Pinsolio, who owes his presence in the squad not to regular appearances but more to his influence in and around the dressing room. Tim Ford getting ready to call the players to order. Salamakers is wearing the captain's armband for Milan at this late stage. And Alexandro is the skipper for Juventus.
Salamakers actually had an excellent end to the last season. There was one particular goal he scored against Napoli. The last 3 or 4 players starting to really show his potential and quality.
It seems that the kicks are going to be taken at the right-hand end of the stadium, or so the referee indicated. Let's see if he follows through with that.
Well, there's a big crowd behind one goal, not quite so big behind the other goal, so you expect them to go to the end where the crowd is, and that's what's happening.
It's also closer to the dressing room afterwards, Stuart.
It's a long walk, isn't it? Players certainly didn't want to go there at half-time. One of the first times I've seen that, although there was a very famous game. That was at the Etihad when Hull City lost quite heavily, and their manager, Phil Brown, kept the players out there and gave them a rollicking, I think you can say, which didn't go down too well with the players.
And didn't do him too much good in terms of his managerial prospects with Hull.
Not his best idea, I don't think.
So it seems that Milan are going to take the first penalty. And Luca Romero has the honour. And he's going to be facing Carlo Pinsoglio, veteran goalkeeper, for once out of the shadows. Luca Romero, 18-year-old attacking midfielder, born in Mexico, grew up in Spain, but an Argentine junior international. First kick of the shootout. And Romero slipped. Standing leg went from beneath him.
Don't think we'll say too much about that. Big moment for the youngster. Oh dear.
So can Arkadiusz Milik be rather more sure-footed for Juventus? Very experienced Polish international, played at World Cups, 69 caps for his country. Napoli and Marseille on his resume. And Milik makes no mistake at all.
Yeah, good penalty. Was skip as he ran up to it, but hit it with power. Hits the side netting. Goalkeeper chose the right way. But couldn't make the save. It's a nice height for the goalkeeper to save it. Just couldn't get there. Sportiello.
Yassine Adli will celebrate his 23rd birthday on Saturday. Once of PSG and Bordeaux. French-born to Algerian parents. His future with Milan questionable. But Adli is up to scratch here, and Milan are on the board.
Well, once again, the goalkeeper chooses the right way, but it's a good enough penalty to beat him. Like the previous one, he wraps his foot round it, actually hits the side netting. Good penalty again.
Samuel Illing Jr. He was born in London into a Congolese family. Joined Chelsea at the age of 8, but decided he wasn't going to get a chance there. Certainly getting his chance at Juventus. Samuel Illing Jr. is denied by Sportiello's sprightly save.
He looked as though he was going to play it with his right foot, then ran round it to play it with his left foot. Sportiello shows the right way. It's not a great penalty, is it? Does well to get his bottom hand down to it. It's a decent save.
Tommaso Pobega. 3 caps for Italy, born in Trieste. And at a very savable height for Pinsoglio.
It's actually very clever goalkeeping. He was working across the line, he was going backwards and forwards. He was trying to put Pobega off. He was probably in front of the line as the kick was taken. Certainly one foot was in front of the line. Very good save. Nice height for him.
Hans Nicolucci. He spent time on loan at Perugia and Salernitana. 3 appearances for Juve. Belted in.
I actually thought he was quite impressive when he came on. Played as the holding midfield player, got on the ball, made things happen. We saw him deliver a couple of good balls into the box and shows his quality with that penalty there. Not right in the corner. It sends the goalkeeper the wrong way.
More experience now. Charles de Ketelaere went to the World Cup with Belgium. This time not running backwards and forwards across his line. Sportiello just told to get away from behind the goal. Mixture of Juve and Milan fans directly behind the net. De Ketelaere, very calmly done. Nice smile from Pinsoglio. A composed penalty for the Belgium. We are going through the ranks of the relatively untried. 18-year-old Dean Huijsen, native of Amsterdam, although he grew up in Spain. Dutch under-18 international. I think he had a little word with Sportiello as well. Something must have been said between the two. Uses the inside of his right boot. A very good penalty. Had a lot of pace on it, considering he played it with the inside of his foot rather than his laces. So 3-2 in Juventus' favour. That means that Lorenzo Colombo has to score this to keep the shootout alive. Colombo with a bit of pressure, and the goalkeeper seemed almost wrong-footed. 3-3, but Juventus have a kick to win it. Well, he took a gamble. He thought that Colombo might go down the middle, so just stood his ground. That wasn't quite the case. This still could be the winning penalty. Many sides think that the fifth penalty could quite often be decisive. It should be taken by someone reliable. That man is Filip Kostic. And maybe his reliability factor is not quite what Juve had hoped. Well, he's got a great left foot. One of the best in European football, and he just smashes this. And unfortunately, smashes it straight at the goalkeeper, who gets a good top hand to it. Sportiello. Frustration for those players on the side, Juventus players. Davide Bartasaghi, who is a defender, not a specialist. And maybe it showed. Two saves now by Pinsoglio. And it's a decent one, not a great penalty. He threatens to dive one way, goes back the other way, just hits him on the chest. Another chance for Juve. It is Matthias Soulé. Very promising young Argentine player. This to win it for the team from Turin. And he does! It's Juventus' night in Carson, California. Victory over their age-old rivals from the spot. And it's a good penalty as well. Soulé composed, left foot, rolls it in the corner. Another player that I thought played quite well when he came on. Certainly wanted to get on the ball. You can see what it means to one or two of those younger players, and the experienced player as well, Pinsoglio. He gets the congratulations. He did a good job. A couple of very good saves. His opposite number, Sportiello, also saved two kicks. was not quite enough for Milan. In recent meetings in competitive circumstances, games have largely gone Milan's way. Juventus have won just one of the last 9. This tees them up for battles to come this season. These two sides meet for real in the context of Serie A in week 9 of the upcoming season. Juventus continue their tuning up against Real Madrid and Orlando next week. Next for Milan, it's the considerable challenge of Barcelona in Las Vegas next Tuesday. And a rare moment in the sunlight for Pinsolio. Let's take a look at the man of the match, brought to you by DirecTV, and it is the veteran understudy goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, he had his moments. Great in the penalty shootout. One was a sub at half-time. Or Szczesny. 1 or 2 saves in the second half, but really came to the fore in the penalty shootout. Great character and fully deserved.
So, victory belongs to Juventus via the penalty spot. An entertaining game. 2-2 it finished. Thiaw and Giroud twice putting Milan in front. Danilo and Rugani equalising for Juventus. That sent us to penalties. Both goalkeepers played starring roles. Pinsolio, though, made the vital saves for Juve. And it is victory for the team from Turin over their rivals from Milan by 4 penalties to 3.